pastimes have allegorical meanings, even though they are histories. They are spoken as histories because the Lord is so magnificent. When the Lord comes to this world and performs activities, his activities are in such a way that they're didactic. What that means is that they actually teach us things. So, come on down. You're joining? Please tell me your name as well. Sure. So, all right. So we've got a cool crew here. So the incarnation of service, his birthday is today. Now it's not like it's. Come on in. Just get a seat. What is your name? Sakin. Sakin.
Yes.
Sakin. So Sakin, welcome. I was telling Sayun that anyone who comes gets free dinner. So you've won the lottery for free dinner tonight just by coming and listening to our songs and we'll give a short wisdom class on ancient Vedic wisdom scriptures. And also there's a personality whose birthday it is today, and there's many lessons that this personality highlights, and if we take these lessons into our heart, we actually can have a profound transformation, at least for the day. But actually, if you really take it in the heart, it could be a lifelong transformation. So we'll see. So without further ado, I will chant some prayers. You are welcome to chant them along with me. Madhav, thank you for taking care of that. So, do you think you can? Can you scroll here, and then I'll share this with the gang here, so you guys can all see too. Okay. All right. So these are some prayers, actually highlighting the essence of what we're here to talk about today. But you won't know what all of them means. I actually don't even know what every single one, all the words mean, but I know what it means. So, but these are prayers that are honoring our spiritual guidance and teachers. And this is coming from a lineage. And this is coming from what's called Parampara. Parampara means that there is a source of knowledge, and that source of knowledge gives knowledge to a personality who's sincere, and then that person becomes a source of knowledge, and then they can give knowledge to the next person, and this is the only way knowledge can be purely transferred. In the modern Western world, we think knowledge has to be discovered, but actually, if you only rely on your own senses to discover knowledge, which our modern scientists are doing, the fatal flaw is that you can only discover as much as the capacity of the senses. But actually what our modern scientists are learning, that the senses perception, the closest whole number to what they can actually measure with the senses is 0%. So meaning, if you're scientific, are you guys scientific? So if you're scientific, you'll actually realize that we know nothing. And that there's not really much hope of knowing anything. Which is actually a frightening condition, unless there is an authoritative source of knowledge, and that knowledge can be gained. So, all religious, spiritual systems say that that's the case, that there is a source of knowledge. And actually we can infer factually that all knowledge that we have now has come from somewhere else. And so actually anything in existence, if we trace out, well, that came from this, and that came from this, and that came from this, what it means is, what the actual natural inference would be is there has to be an independent source of all these things. And the qualities of such an independent, all-powerful source actually are the qualities which every religion attributes to a god. So actually, if we use scientific inference, God is actually the conclusion of the scientists, believe me. But that is not. So anyway, that's a little detour, but just to give you guys the background. Now, we'll chant these prayers.
Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadabhayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijina Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Takta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachadi Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Looks like we summoned the crowd with the prayers. Krishna, nice to meet you all. What are your names?
My name is Chaitanya.
Chaitan, what a name. Great. Yeah.
Vaibhav.
Vaibhav?
Ashutosh.
Ashutosh.
Omkar.
Omkar. Omkar, Ashutosh, Vaibhav, and Chaitanya. Yeah, nice. Auspicious names. So today is Balarama Purnima. Welcome. We're going to tell some pastimes of Lord Balarama's appearance. But first, let's do a little bit of Siddhanta. Who is Balaram? What do the Vedas declare in the different scriptures? And just so you know, our source of knowledge is the Vedas. And why do we choose the Vedas? Because I was just explaining to you that if we use just our own senses, our own measurement, another guest as well, our own measurement of the world based on our senses, the senses are imperfect, meaning they're not able to actually take in knowledge, that much knowledge. Actually, who here is, are you guys any scientific fellows? Who here is in a science field in school?
Computer science.
Computer science. You're all computer science. So you use the scientific method in computer science, yes? Okay. So I'm going to teach you the flaw of the scientific method. So the flaw of the scientific method is this. The senses are limited to how much knowledge they can take in, right? Would you say that your senses are infinite or have a limited capability? What do you think, Chaitanya?
Limited.
Of course, limited. So that number, that whatever the limit is quantifiable. So let's do a little algebra. Let's say that's x. Okay, the amount of knowledge your senses can take in is x. Okay, now, the modern scientists, they are discovering that the universe as they know it, and the dimensions of the universe as they know it, are what they call infinite, or even though the Vedas say it is finite, but they say it's infinite from what they can understand, but from, at least they're saying it's ineffable, meaning they cannot find the end of it. So now what's x divided by infinity? No, you guys are not mathematicians. X divided by infinity. It can be determined, but not an exact value. But it can be, and it's approaching what whole number? Zero, yes. You're a mathematician. So they must not be teaching math and computer science. It's only zeros and ones, huh? So, no problem. So that means, by scientific method, you know nothing with your senses. So why do we choose the Vedas? Because either we're all knowing nothing, trying to discover with the capability to understand nothing, which is essentially what's happening in the world, or there is a source of knowledge, and that we can actually gather that knowledge if it's revealed to us. And really, it's the most logical thing is to hope, instead of just in the dark trying to find knowledge, which is essentially what we're doing if we have the practically the ability of 0% to actually gather knowledge with our senses. If you actually understand scientifically what I'm explaining, that realization will be there. But if there is an all-perfect source of knowledge, that's the only way we can get knowledge. So we study in what's called parampara, which is connected to that source of knowledge, and that source of knowledge is God. So the Vedas, even though they cannot trace the origin, are said to be the revelations of knowledge from God. So we're going to give some conclusions. What's nice about the Vedas is that the Vedas give you so much that you can measure. And you can measure this in the world. And at some point, because your senses are limited, it'll go beyond what you can measure. And when it goes beyond what you can measure, you can trust it as an authority because everything it told you within your scope of measurement has been correct to this point. So if you study the Vedas, the reason we're choosing the Vedas is because that's happened for us. We've seen everything the Vedas said within our scope, not everything, but as much as we needed to see within our scope of measurement, and it was proven true to us every time. And so now we trust. Okay, now when it's talking about things far beyond our scope of measurement, which I'm going to talk about right now a little bit, because that's the essence of the day, we trust. So, just understanding where our source of knowledge is coming from. What am I drawing from? Why do I even believe what I believe? And that's kind of what I just told you. Please tell me your name is?
Neha.
Neha.
Yeah.
Okay. Neha, Ashutosh, Vaibhav, Chaitanya, and Omkar. How could I forget Omkar? That's the most popular name, I'd say, of all of them. So, anyhow, okay, Balaram Purnima is today. Now, Balaram, from the Siddhanta of the Vedas, who is Balaram? So, there is one God, there is one source of knowledge. But, the whole point of existence, does anyone know in the Vedanta why the point of existence, what the point of existence is? Why do we all exist? Why does everything exist? The Vedas actually explain. The Vedanta explains this. Does anyone know? You can give me... Madhav, you know?
For Leela, or pastimes. So, for the pastimes of the Lord, for ultimately His enjoyment.
Yes.
Also...
The answer, you said it correctly, it's Leela. It's actually for the enjoyment of pleasurable pastimes. So the whole reason that there's many individuals is because when we associate with each other, we can have enjoying interactions with one another. Who likes to just sit by themselves for their whole life and never associate with anybody? Nobody, right? So this is actually, the Lord has this nature as well. So even though there is one unified God, one source of everything, actually, even our modern scientists with their limited sense perception are also drawing to that conclusion. There must be a unified source. They're looking for the God particle. What's that one thing that's the foundation of all the other things, right? So, that one goes into three different energies, and there's three different personalities that expand from the one personality. And those three personalities govern a certain energy that sets off the creation. And those three energies are called... What's that? Oh, no. Those are baby energies compared to this energy. So they're good try though. Try Mortis. But it's the Sandini energy, the Samvit energy, and the Hladini energy. Sandini means all of existence. Samvit means all awareness or cognizance, knowledge. and Hladini means all pleasure or bliss. These three energies are the, you can say, the transcendental pure energies of the Lord's first expansions. And these three energies have a personality behind all of them. The Samvit energy, or the all-cognizant Lord, is, does anyone know? No, these are baby energies. They come far, far down the line. These are like only in this universe. But the presiding deity, or the original personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam in Srimad Bhagavatam is drawn, is Krishna. The original personality of Godhead. The original one from the expansions coming. Then, but his potency of all bliss, coming from his left side, is the presiding deity of the Hladini energy, Madhav, Radharani, the feminine counterpart, which is Sri Radha. And now coming from the right side is his Sandini expansion, which is alike him in almost practically every way, with the exception of the interaction with the Hladini, or the... I'll get to that maybe if we have time. But that is Balaram. So Balaram is actually of creation one of the, you could say, real Trimurtis. Now in this universe there is a Trimurti as well, and they're governed, and they're each presiding deities over Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. Vishnu is Sattva, Brahma is Rajas, and Lord Shiva is Tamas. So, but that's... we took so many steps to get to this universe. We're going to try to get down to this universe where we are now. But this is the energy, and also there's personalities that govern the energy. Now, when Krishna expands with the feminine counterpart, Radha, there's so many intimate and loving pastimes that they do together, and then on top of that, Radharani, she also expands into many other personalities. And so all those personalities have a certain type of governance, and they have a certain type of exchanges. Actually, it's very, very amazing and astonishing type of interactions. And it's all described what the spiritual world looks like with those personalities. But on the other side is Balaram, because this is the personality where it's in focus today. And Balaram, he is the personality governing the Sandini energy. And Sandini energy means existence. And so all of existence is governed by this personality. And so his expansions, and it also should be understood, each expansion, they all have the consciousness of pure service. Pure service. So in the spiritual world, in this world, we're very selfish. We don't want to serve anybody, we want to serve ourselves. And if we do have service to someone, like say you have anyone here married? You guys are husband and wife?
Yeah.
Congratulations, very nice. So, it's my wife as well, and we have a child and all these things. So, but the tendency in the material world is I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back. Meaning, I'll serve you as long as I'm being served. But this idea of pure service is foreign to this world, actually. But in the original existence, the mood is pure service. So Sri Balaram, Radharani, her mood is pure service to Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna, his mood is pure service to Radharani. But also the relationship is there with Balaram and Krishna. Balaram and Radharani don't have a direct relationship. Krishna is the centerpiece. And to the left is Radharani, and to the right is Balaram, and the left and the right don't meet. But directly, there is an indirect way. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. So Balaram, though, his job is to create facilities for instead of all the intimate loving pastimes that come from the feminine side, he creates all the other facilities for relationship in all of existence. And so, on top of that, he's the foundation. He creates all of the foundation, every planet, every world, every spiritual plane of existence. Balaram actually governs over all of that. And Balaram does everything for the mood of trying to be of service. So, on top of that, Balaram then expands into many other different expansions. All throughout the spiritual world, there's many different planes of existence in which Balaram exists. And then he creates what's called Nitya Siddhas. Nitya Siddhas are eternal, perfected beings in the spiritual world that all understand their relationship is to be of service to the Lord, and they exist in relation to the original godly personality. And there's an exchange of love there. What's that? You can hold it up if you want. Or maybe you might have come over here and hold this up. You can do that. So, if we're going to look at this map here, remember I was telling you these are baby things? Because you guys were talking about stuff down here. And stuff down here is just a little portion of this gigantic cosmic expanse.
He was talking about these three potencies up here.
Yes, and I'm talking about these. Baladev Prabhu with Sandini, then there's Krishna with Sambit, and then there's Sri Radha with Ladini. So, anyway, I'm just reading it. So anyway, all expansions, all the Nitya Siddhas come from Baladev, and all the expansions, all the different lokas, and this is the whole spiritual world, where everyone's a perfected being in this world.
Good job.
We're not in that world. It would be nice. And actually, we have a purpose too. I'll tell you our purpose soon. But all the Nitya Siddhas are in these worlds, and they perfectly understand that they have a relationship with either the Lord directly or an expansion of the Lord, and they are always in pure service, in some different type of mood. And there's 5 different moods of service. Preeti, Hare Krishna. The 5 different moods of service, you probably know them well. One is Shanta, like the Shanti, Shanti, Om, Shanti, Shanti. And that is just cognizance, awareness. Some people think this is perfection. But actually Shanti, or the Shanta state, is the most, it's the foundational but preliminary relationship. Means it's actually the least amount of relishment is in the Shanti state. Above Shanti is Dasya state, is in the pure service mood. Oh Lord, you are my master, and I am the servant of you, and I'm relishing being your servant. But above that is the Sakya mood. Sakya means friendship, where now all this awe and reverence of your God and all this is no, there's so much love there that you actually see the Lord as an equal, but not as like an equal as I'm better than you or something like that. I'm competing with you like they do in this world. But the love is so high that the service is on an equal platform. And above that even, there is possibility where the love is so high that you actually see the Lord as less than yourself and someone that you need to care for, and there is a parental mood as well. We have all these love in this world. We feel mother to child and all these things. This love, these exchanges of love are all present. We have employees to bosses, right? Or I know in Indian culture you have great respect for your teachers. But there's a certain exchange of love from the student to the teacher, right? That's like dasya ras in a certain element. And even children to parents can be like that as well. And then the highest is Madhurya ras, which is intimacy. The romantic, pure romantic. The romance in this world is not pure. Sorry to say, my married couple, our marriage, it's not of the pure service only nature, actually. Why? Because actually the reason we've come together to serve is because we don't even know who each other are. We're identifying with something we're not. That's a whole nother discussion, but we'll save that some for if we have time. I have to tell some pastimes about the important personality today. So Balaram, On one side is the all-perfect spiritual world with the all-amazing romantic, Madhurya, sweet pastimes. But put that over here, and then where we are, the rest is actually all arranged by Balaram. And so Baladev, he creates all of existence, all the planes of existence, all the paraphernalia that can be, all items that can be used in service to the Lord are all governed by Balaram, especially in this world here. He creates the Nitya Siddhas, but then he feels, you know what, that's not enough. Why is the world created? For Leela. So, when everything's perfect and there's no problems like in the spiritual world, because in the spiritual, the word, you've heard of Vaikuntha before, right? What's Vaikuntha mean? Yes, kind of. Yes, it's Vishnu's abode, but it has a meaning. Vai and Kunta. What does it mean?
The place of Vishnu.
What?
The place where Vishnu relaxes.
It's the place. Yes. Kunta is anxiety. Vaikunta is without overcoming anxiety. So this is the place where there's no anxiety. But have you ever watched a movie before? You guys watch movies ever? What's your favorite movie? What's that? Avengers. Good choice. Okay. If there wasn't a villain in the Avengers, would there be a whole exciting Avengers movie? No. So, the Baladev, he realizes that there is a wonderful, amazing process for creating some problem. And if we create a place of kunta, of anxiety, then the process of overcoming that anxiety, there's a relishment to that. Like, some of the couples, we have 3 married couples here now, because Preeti and Niranjan came. And so, there's the process of falling in love, and in the beginning you're not unsure what's going to happen, and there's all this thrill. Well, there's 4 married couples. 3.5 right now. But so anyhow, Madhav is also married. So, but there's the process of falling in love. So this world was created for the process of giving us the opportunity to fall in love with God. No, he's good. It's no problem. Yeah. It's no problem. Now he's saying daddy. There we go. My gosh. So like this. So this world was created for the process of falling in love. But the problem is that the original living, the living entities that were created in the spiritual world, there's millions upon millions of living entities created, but they're all Nitya Siddha. They're perfectly situated. They know that they're servants of God. They know there's a God and they know they're servants. But in this world, everything's going to be flipped upside down, where we have no idea who we even are and what we are. And there's a process of discovering who and what we are. And so Balaram, he creates us in this crappy situation, or seemingly crappy situation, where instead of understanding our spiritual nature, we think we're this body, we think we're this mind, and we think we're products of matter, like that we see are all around us. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he says, aparayam itastvanyam kachirasti dhananjaya. It's slipping my mind. But he says that this is apara energy. It's inferior energy. Like, matter is dead. Your body is dead, actually. Anyone want to give an example? Anyone want to be a volunteer? Chaitanya? Chaitanya will come. Madhav, get the kitchen knife, the butcher block. We're going to chop off his finger. We won't really chop off your finger. It's a joke. But if we chopped off his finger, it would maybe wriggle around for a few seconds, but then we would see very soon that that's dead, and that actually is not him. So anyway, you can do that with many parts of your body, but eventually the soul will leave the body. It will not tolerate this so much, because it's very attached to the body, and it's a very painful situation to watch the body that it's so attached to fail. So the soul will leave. So anyhow, I'm just teasing. This part of ourselves, our actual nature can be discovered. And when we discover this, we learn that we are connected to God, because we're created by the godly potency of Balarama, the personality. And then our real function is to be in service to God. And this process of falling in love with one who we really are and who God is, and that making that connection, having that falling in love. And actually the symptom of love is service, actually. If you really love somebody, you serve them, yes? Yes? The symptom of love is service. If there's no service, there's no love, actually. So that should be known. So the symptom of love is service. So you can use this, Siyun, when you're saying, how come there's no service, honey? Don't you love me? Or Sakin. Sakin, you can say, Siyun, don't you love me, honey? Why is there no service like this? And so my wife uses it all the time. I'm still not doing a good job. But the symptom of love is service. So this rediscovering, this falling back in love, is discovering our real nature of service. So, but Balaram, he has created all of us in this position, and we have this terrible mood of not wanting to be of service and wanting to be God, wanting to be the enjoyer in some ignorant state that we're currently in. And in that ignorant state, we do many offensive things and terrible things, and all the evil, great, sinful, horrible things of the world are simply because people want to selfishly be the enjoyers, and they're willing to do anything sinister to secure their position as the enjoyer. Instead of trying to be the servant of God, which would forbid that you would harm no other living entities unless it was necessary. Because sometimes, if there was a violent person, say someone came in and, with the gun and doing crazy things like that, if Sakin went and beat him with a chair and he killed him, we would all praise him. And we'd be like, thank you, Sakin, for saving all of our lives. So sometimes it's the best thing, the most kind thing to do is be violent, but very few times, only in extreme circumstances. So anyhow, so Balaram again, one more time takes the expansion, and this is going to be the most relevant, the most practical, and the most necessary teaching of today for all of you. He realizes that he's created all the living entities in such a situation that they've been bereft of their position of service. But just to kindly help them, he takes the form of Sri Guru. And in the form of Sri Guru, he will show them back to the way. He'll show them back to their real, amazing, loving situation. He will really give them the opportunity to fall in love. So he will present, when the living entity is sincere, he will present you with a guru. And not just a fashionable guru, my mom and dad, he does rituals for my family, he's my guru. Or, I met him, he's a guru. Or he says he's a guru. No, like a real bona fide guru who's transcendentally connected. That's Balaram. So when you've really achieved the mercy of Sri Balaram, he will present you, he will come to you personally in the form of a guru. Because remember, we're all expansions. Everyone is an expansion of Balaram, every soul. So, but for that soul who is connected back to its source and turned towards God in loving service, Balaram will come through that personality, empower that personality, and for the living entities like us, provide a guru. So this is actually, when you know that you're making advancement, you'll feel a deep connection that a guru has come in your life. If that has not happened yet, which is for most living entities has not, pray harder, be more sincere. Try to understand these things. Try to understand spiritual life. Try to understand who you are. Try to understand that life is not for your enjoyment. You will enjoy much more being the servant of God. Just like, who do you think enjoys more? What's a big corporation? Anyone have a job from a big corporation? You do. Seyun, what's your corporation?
Consider Lotte. We're making
Okay, and then what's the name of it?
Lode Biologics, but it's under
Lode?
Lode, yeah.
Lode Biologics. So in Lode, do you know who the CEO is?
I don't know. I just know like some of his family's wedding has like some previous Japan's like chairman attended, and then he got assassinated that Japan coffee girl. So I think they are very powerful for their family.
Okay, I'm sure they are. To be a CEO of a giant company, they must be a pretty powerful, prominent individuals in this world. So, she works for Lode, and you're probably a pretty junior personality in the company, right? Yes, no problem. Most of us are junior people. But the junior personalities in a company, maybe there's like a manager. You have a manager? Yes, that's how a corporation works. Manager has a manager, and the district and regional like this. It goes up to the CEO, right? So who do you think enjoys more? Maybe you, your manager, or the direct servant of the CEO? Who do you think's enjoying more?
I think myself. Probably.
That's nice. Actually, on a material platform, meaning the facilities for material enjoyment, the servant of the CEO definitely has more facilities for material enjoyment than you. But because you're sitting in a room cultivating spiritual knowledge, you're actually said to be much more fortunate than even Elon Musk. So that's good news. So you have the capacity to enjoy more than any of these people in Lode or person. But for the sake of material enjoyment, if we think that facilities for money, sex, and drugs, intoxication, if we think all this is enjoyment, the servant of the CEO is enjoying way more, has way better facilities for enjoyment than us at the low-level position. So similarly, in the spiritual world, the servant of God, the one who understands the position of servant of God and is near and dear to God, is infinitely more, there's more enjoyment and there's more happiness for that personality than the personality who's scraping for enjoyment wherever they can get it in this world. Like homeless people are also trying to enjoy. People who are doing drugs on the street, they're also trying to enjoy. They're asking for money so that they can go enjoy their drugs. But people who are a little bit more refined, they know that's not really a good source of enjoyment. It would be better if you got a job. It would be better if you had a better standard of life. So we're like the homeless people of the cosmic expanse. We're scraping around for enjoyment in the form of material money, sex, family life, wealth. But all these things are temporary, all these things will go away, and all these things give no lasting happiness. And everybody you've ever known or loved chasing these things, they lose it all, especially when they die. Did anyone's relatives take their money when they left? No, they don't take the money. You can't. So why do we spend our whole life chasing it if you can't be taken with us? So anyhow, Balaram has created the facility for us to fall back in love with. He's created us with a drama. There's some big villain conspiracy now. The tendency has covered over us. And we're all in danger of thinking that we're the enjoyers of life and that we should live life trying to enjoy. Yes, that's our mentality, unfortunately. But the great drama is there's a great heroic nature. Inside we have this pure servant nature. Just like in the Avengers, maybe one of the personalities, they realized they had a superhuman mutant power latent within them and they didn't know it existed. But then somehow it got awakened and then they could become an Avenger. So you can also become a material world Avenger. And you can avenge this, miserly trying to be the enjoyer, trying to be the god of your little existence. And instead, take your exalted position as the all spiritual servant of God. So Balaram gives the process. And how does he give the process? By he comes to you in the form of Sri Guru, a pure saint who's purely connected to God. And that person, empowered by him all the way up through God, because he's ultimately empowered by the original. He's an expansion. And then you will all realize the function for existence, and that function for existence is to rediscover the bliss in serving God. So that's what Balarama is about. Oh, that's nice. Now, I'm going to tell some pastimes. I've been talking a little bit Siddhanta, and I've been talking about a little bit Theosophy and things like this. But now we'll tell some pastimes that highlight the points that I'm making. Have you guys ever heard of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Bhagavad Purana? For those of you in the Vedic culture, the Indian culture, you know that this is the last Purana. Veda Vyas, he compiled all the Puranas, including Bhagavad Gita, and all the other Puranas, Shiv Purana, everything, but he wasn't satisfied. Then Narada Rishi, his guru, came to him and told him why he wasn't satisfied, and it's because you didn't take the summum bonum teaching of the whole Vedas that you've presented. In Bhagavad Gita, it was there, but you didn't devote one whole Purana only to this highest teaching. You've given all the different things of karma, jnana, yoga, renunciation. You've given all these lower teachings, but you didn't give the highest teaching. What is the highest teaching? You've all read Bhagavad Gita? Chaitanya?
Not much, but yeah.
What is the conclusion teaching of Bhagavad Gita?
To maintain peace.
No. That's not even, that's like the beginning teaching. Conclusive teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Anyone know? There's a verse. Might have told the verse.
Krishna says, always think of me. Become my devotee and offer your worship and homage out to me. And by doing so, you will come to me without fail. Without a doubt, you will come to me.
He's saying, I promise you, pratijane, priyosime, because you're dear to me, priyosime. So Krishna is saying the highest teaching is in devotion, and this is called bhakti. Bhakti is with loving devotion, and in, what's the symptom of love, Sayun? Service, yes. The symptom of love is service. So to render service unto me. This is conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. Maintain peace that's like the very first teaching. Matra sparshas takonteya sirtoshta sukna dukada. Agama payino nityas tam stitikshashva bharata. So he's saying in this, he's saying that everything you're experiencing is just the body, the sense perception. Matra sparshas takonteya. Oh, son of Kunti. It's only that. Hot and cold, shitoshna, sukha dukkha, happiness and distress, giving you happiness and distress, agama payino nityas. It's all appearing and disappearing. And it's anitya. Agamo payino nityas means anitya. It's all temporary. It's all fleeting. Tongues, also all of these things, happiness, distress, hot and cold, victory and defeat, all these things of life. Tongues, titik shashva, you should tolerate them. So that's like, be peaceful. But that's like the fourth verse Krishna says, but he says 700, he says 600 something verses in Bhagavad Gita. So the ones at the end are much more confidential. But because most of us, we only do maybe fundamental study of these things, or a very loose study, we never get to the end. We always have to, maybe scratch the surface somewhere. But we're here as given by the mission by our guru and gurus to take people as far as they can go in this life. The good news is you're eternal. You have a spiritual nature. You're a latent avenger. You're a super amazing, awesome living entity, and you're not bound by death. And you're never going to get defeated by death, even though everything else you try to do in this world will certainly be defeated by death. But you as the spirit soul will not. That's also first teaching. That's like right after that, then Krishna talks about the soul and the amazing spiritual nature of the soul. But you need a guru to do it. That's why in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna said to Krishna, Karpanya dosho pahata, it's already 8. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhava. Due to this, overcome by this miserly weakness, Prichami tvang dharma samuda chetaha. I'm asking you, why am I bewildered? Dharma, because I'm bewildered. Dharma samuda chetaha. My mind is completely bewildered. Shishyash, no. Yeah. No, it's yach treyascha nishtitam bruhitan me. And then he says, what is that? Please tell me what is that? What is actually blessed for me? What is auspicious for me? This is actually the mood of someone who actually can take a guru. They realize that they're in a miserable situation, that there's no hope, using only their senses and their own, 0% faculties of trying to figure out life, and they surrender to a personality who can actually help them, who themselves has gone through the process of surrendering to a guru, who themselves has gone through the process of surrendering to a guru, and ultimately it's going back through Balarama, right? We talked about the chain of entities. Yeah, you guys get that point, right? Living beings come from another living being, right? So if you take that back infinitely, that means there must be one independent living being. Yes, because it can't, right? That makes sense? The Greeks also realized this. There must be an absolute truth, a summum bonum. The Greeks, like Plato, Socrates, also discovered the same exact thing. So this isn't just a Vedic thought thing. This is universal understanding, actually. So now, we're going to tell a few pastimes. Have you ever heard of the pastime of Dhenukasura? Dhenuka is like a donkey, and Asura is like a demon. So, when Krishna came to this world, and it's Krishna's birthday next week, next Friday, and we're going to have a big festival here, and there'll probably be about 100 to 150 people here next Friday. So if you guys want to come, please, everyone come next Friday. So one of the best days. Preeti, you're in? You're going to help us cook for next Friday?
Yes.
Please. Very good. We need lots of help. So when Krishna came in this world, there were many personalities that, because he came in this world and was challenged by great and powerful demonic personalities like Kamsa, he hired all the best mystics of the world, evil mystics that he was friends with, to try and kill Krishna. And Krishna slipped out of his grip. He thought he had her. His sister Devaki actually gave birth to, or Krishna appeared through her womb. Actually, Nihir is actually telling you all the truth, because he's saying no. But actually, that telling of Srimad Bhagavatam, he's actually right. It didn't actually happen that way, but for the popular understanding, I have to say that that's how it happened. So, but there's actually, Krishna appears in Vrindavan. But anyhow, for the popular Janmashtami pastime, we have to tell how it says also in other scriptures. So, okay. Now, so Krishna hired a bunch of mystics to assassinate baby Krishna. And many of them, they found Krishna finally in the village of Vrindavan. But every time they approached him, because Krishna is the supreme God, he easily kills them. And he creates these fantastic pastimes. So, but there are some, and now we should also understand, because I told you, when the Lord performs activities, he's didactic. Didactic means that he'll teach you many, many things that are relatable to your own life in how he performs his pastimes. It serves many layers and purposes. So there's allegorical meaning, yes. Okay. So, Dhenukasura, there's certain things that are obstacles to you being reunited with your loving service nature. There's many obstacles in your life. And there's 6 main enemies we all have: lust, greed, anger, illusion, pride, and envy. These are so, and then there's different subsections of those 6 enemies. So Dhenukasura, he represents ignorance and just being in a completely ignorant state. And in the ignorant state, you just try to do anything to enjoy. So Dhenukasura didn't even try to go and kill Krishna. Dhenukasura and all his buddies, they just took over a giant forest filled with the ripest, juiciest mango fruits, and they would kill anybody who came and tried to take the fruits. And they only wanted them there, and they weren't even really fully enjoying them. But they, due to in ignorance, we can fall into all these things: lust, greed, anger, pride, illusion, and envy. So, but certain things, certain demons, Krishna himself killed most of the demons, but certain demons he had Balaram kill. And now it's his appearance day today. And remember, Balaram represents what? For us in this world, what's our connection to Balaram? Guru. Guru is our connection to Balaram. So for us, what this is going to teach us is what Guru has to come and kill inside of you if you want to actually make advancement. So Dhenukasura, he was there. And they were all, so then Balaram, Krishna, and all their friends, they went into the forest. And because they were there and they were trying to enjoy the juicy, ripe mango fruits, immediately Dhenukasura and his friends, they all attacked. And they had these great, horrendous-looking donkey forms. And they came, and they went before Krishna and Balaram, and they attacked. But Dhenukasura, he attacked Balaram. And he turned like a donkey does and from behind, and the donkey's main weapon is to kick. And he kicked Balaram right in the chest. What does this mean? We too, when a saintly person comes to us, who could actually factually act as our guru, and they tell us to give up our, nonsense, or they threaten our so-called way of life, that, no way, I am the enjoyer. I am supposed to get all kinds of money and have all kinds of sex. And what are you doing talking about this other thing? Like this. So that person may turn and kick that person. Maybe literally, but quite, at least mentally. Get away from me. You're some stupid personality. So, what did Balaram do? He tolerated it, actually. He tolerated it. So he's okay. So then Dhenukasura was livid. He's like, I just kicked you with all my force. How could you? And what's this also mean? All of the stupid arguments of the ignorant persons in this world, before the truth, it just will fall like flowers on the saint. On a saintly person, if you try to give some stupid material argument, they'll smash it to it's just completely it's completely useless to them. And they'll completely come and smash you like what Balaram does to Dhenukasura. Dhenukasura went at him again, and Balaram took him by the hind legs, twirled him around until he lost his life and threw him in the trees. And then Krishna and all their friends did the same with all his buddies. So, but what's this mean for us? That the essence here is that only Guru can remove us of our ignorance, and we may have the tendency to turn against the Guru, but if we continue to go against saintly personalities, we will surely face ruin. If the saints come in your life and try and help you, and you turn against them, you're going to be in trouble. So that's one lesson to learn. And I hate to inform you all, but we have been deputed, all of the devotees, by our gurus to act as their representative as saints, to interject in people's lives and tell them, please stop a nonsense way of living, of trying to be the selfish enjoyer, and please take to the path of service to God. And now if you turn against this, we've cursed you that you will not have great fortune. So, but the good news is that I think you're all sincere people and you'll realize these things naturally. So, but we set a trap just by being here and promising you free food. So, but what can be done? You're all caught in the trap now. Now, next pastime. You've heard of the demon Pralambasura, the killing of Pralambasura? So what was the first demon? What did it represent? Ignorance, yes. Pralambasura, he represents Kutinati. Does anyone know what Kutinati is?
Doing the things, bad things behind someone, something like that.
Yes, duplicity. Thinking, showing one thing externally, but on the inside being something different. So all of these things can never, it takes Guru to kill. That's why Balaram, he comes for all of these demons that I'm going to talk about today. The rest Krishna can handle through his pure spiritual process of bhakti. But only Guru can get these things out. So only Balaram he's the one sent for these demons. So Kutinati, Pralamba, what did he do? He decided, he saw Krishna and all of his friends playing. He thought, I will pretend to be one of them. So, when we take to devotional life, we may pretend that we're a devotee. We may dress up like me or Madhav and say, yes, look at me. I'm doing everything. But on the inside, we may have all these material desires. This is called Kutinati. On the outside, yes, I'm doing everything. Look at what I'm speaking, but on the inside, I just want to enjoy materially. This is Kutinati. So, Pralamba, what does he do? He takes dress of a cowherd boy, and he joins them in games, and he's looking for a way, by pretending, how can I assassinate Krishna? That's all their job. So, Krishna knows everything. And Balaram normally knows everything, except when Krishna doesn't want him to know something. Because he's the only one that can bewilder Balaram. So actually, Balaram doesn't know Pralamba's there. Why? Because Krishna wants to play a prank on Balaram, because they have fun with each other. Remember, the whole point of existence is for the fun. I'm making it a little serious here, right now for us, because we have to get a little serious, because we're in a bad situation. But for the spiritual, liberated, emancipated personalities, it's all fun and games, actually. It's all fun and games. And your life, our life can be all fun and games, actually. But right now it's serious because we have this pretty serious disease of trying to be the enjoyer of this world. So, hopefully, if you come here enough, hopefully we can all work to get it out. So now, Pralamba, he dresses up like he's one of Krishna's associates, but inside he has an evil intention. And what does he do? The rules of the game were this. It would be like some tug of war, or not tug of war, it was like a wrestling match. And whoever's team won the wrestling match, the winners got to go on the shoulders of the losers. So that was the prize. So Pralamba joined Krishna's team, and the other boys, the winners, were Balaram's team. Even though Krishna's supreme God, he doesn't win every game. Actually, he loses a lot in the spiritual world. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion. But, so Balaram's team won, and Pralamba was carrying Balaram, and he thought, oh, this is my chance. He's one of Krishna's dear friends. I can take him off to the side, and I can kill him first, and then I can. So, because Balaram is the foundation of all of the living entities, though, he's naturally very heavy. So what ended up happening is when he was carrying him on his shoulders, he got really, really heavy. And even though he was a mystic and he was able to take the form of a little boy, because he was so heavy, he couldn't actually maintain that anymore. It was too much exertion. So he ended up, his real demonic form popped out, and he grew and grew and grew. And this was the prank that Krishna wanted to play on Balaram, because he knew that this little boy was a demon. And Balaram was bewildered. And then Pralamba turned to kill him, and Balaram just struck him on the top of the head and split open his brains. And his brains decorated the forest floor. But now back allegorically. What does this mean for us? If we even try to associate among saintly personalities, but we have a different intention, like let's just say, I want to associate with the devotees because I know God will make sure I get good grades and I get a good job. Or I want to associate with devotees and I know that I'll get money and be rich, or I'll get a beautiful wife, or I'll get nice family and all these things. These are what most people pray to God about, actually. But actually, this is all kutinati. This is all duplicity. To want to enjoy on behalf of God, not caring at all, how can I actually give you pleasure? Oh, you're my magic genie, dear Lord, please give me this, 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 and this. This is kutinati. And this needs to go away. So, who does Krishna send to go away? If you really want to actually have something really enjoyable, it needs to go away. You should not be approaching God for material things. You shouldn't be approaching God so you get good grades at school. You shouldn't be approaching God. It's better you approach God for that, for material things, than not approach God at all. But this is kutinati, and it's actually cheating religion to approach God and pray for material things. So, it takes Guru to expose that, to make you realize you're a cheater. And that make you realize that your desires for material enjoyment or being the enjoyer, this is foolish and silly, and to give this up. And this is actually wicked at heart, to want to be yourself the enjoyer. Yes, I know you came here and I'm supposed to have some positive message, and I'm telling everyone we're wicked for our enjoying mentality. But unfortunately it's true. Unfortunately it's true. But if you can just realize that you, even if you have faith in God, that everything up to this point has been kutinati, then you can give it up with the mercy of Guru. If you actually approach a person who's beyond it, they can help you give it up. This pure devotion that Krishna says is the topmost thing in Bhagavad Gita is described as this: Anyabhilashita shunyam, without any other desires, free of any other desires, for karma. Karma means fruitive results, meaning wealth, meaning sense enjoyment, meaning social prestige, positions, power, all these things. Jnana, even knowledge of how to overcome all sufferings of this world, how to be in a state of peace all the time. This is jnana. And adi is yoga, mysticism, renunciation, all these things. Pure bhakti is none of these things are involved at all. Only Krishnanu Shilana. Krishnanu Anukulyena Krishnanu. Only favorable activities for service to God, service to Krishna. Shilanam Bhakti Urtama. This is pure bhakti. So in this pastime, this is what's highlighted. That don't approach God for material things. Approach God so that you can be in the wonderful position as being a little speck of dust at His feet, to be a servant. You should pray for that thing. So this pastime actually highlights this teaching. And I'll tell, oh man, we have to end actually, but I'll tell one more pastime. But there's actually like 3 or 4 I could tell, but I had to kind of lay the groundwork. So anyhow, I could tell so many things. This one is more relevant for you guys, so I'll tell this one. There was another pastime where there was another great demon called Vyomasura. And Vyoma, he came and he stole all of Krishna's friends and he hid them in a cave. And only Krishna and Balaram were left. So Krishna gets very angry that if anyone messes with his friends. So he went and him and Vyomasura, they're battling. And the battle was said to be so ferocious that the earth was trembling and shaking. They're not normal personalities fighting. So, but because who creates the earth, who creates everything? What personality? Balaram, actually. So all of existence and all of Vrindavan, everything. So there's a place in Vrindavan where there's a large imprint of a foot into the stone. And that's where Balaram, he came and he pressed his foot into the stone to steady the earth, to allow Krishna to perform his pastimes and kill the demon. So in the midst of us going through this spiritual process, this bhakti process, there will be many demons in our mind that will fight us. And our mind will get very unsteady. But again, it's Guru who can be the only force that will steady the mind. And actually deliver you from the turbulence that'll happen. So if you don't have Guru, that external expansion of the Lord to come and keep you steady, it'll be too much for your own mind to handle alone. So these are all principles taught by Balaram on this day. You can all actually learn a lot from reading Srimad Bhagavatam, and then also hearing the commentaries of the acharyas of the bona fide Guru Parampara. Because all these things, in first glance of the Bhagavatam, you won't be able to glean all of these lessons from them. But if you get to, like I've had the good fortune of hearing everything I've told you from my Guru and our teachers, that I'm able to read those pastimes and see those things. Whereas if, say, you don't have that and you just try to use your own intellect, you'll never be able to see all those things from those pastimes. So anyhow, in essence, Balaram is the deer. One last thing. Balaram is so expert, he knows how to serve Krishna in every single way. And he supports all of the different moods of Krishna's service, and even indirectly knows how to support the romantic escapades that Krishna has with his feminine counterparts. But because that's not so relevant to the beginner stage, I won't go into all these things. It's time. My wife is telling me. My feminine counterpart is telling me. So, are there any questions or concerns, challenges, rebuttals?
So
Yeah.
on a philosophical level, we know that the super soul, the Paramatma, is pervading everything, and Krishna, as the expansion of super soul, is within everything.
Yes.
Within everything, everything's resting upon him, even though he's new. But also, I've also heard, in terms of Krishna, or even the Kirtan instruments, like Balaram expands as like Krishna's shoes and Krishna's paraphernalia,
Yes.
and even all these different things, and all the Kirtan instruments in Chaitanya Lila and all these different things.
Yes. And in this Leela here.
And this Lila
Yeah.
even here.
Which is still Chaitanya Leela, but go on.
So I'm asking, like, so what's the distinction between the super soul and Lord Balaram's expansion in this world?
The super soul is an expansion of Lord Balaram. For those of you who don't know what a super soul is, that the only reason you have consciousness is because that's actually given by God consciousness, and that's actually an expansion of Balaram. There is no difference actually, because the super soul is within everything. We're not here trying to respect the mridanga made of matter. We're trying to respect the super soul within the mridanga. You respect all living entities for the same reason. Not the body of matter, but the spiritual soul. So I'm not exactly sure your question.
I was just like, I don't know, like it just like Lord, like Balaram and the super soul, they're in one sense the same, but they're also different now.
Yes, but you don't have Balaram coming to you personally with all of his bugle horn and his mortar and pestle and like in Vrindavan Leela. You have Balaram come to you through the Guru, and that's his expansion to you. And that's the kind of the point of the class today, that unless you have Guru, the connection to Balaram isn't really there. And that means also, because Balaram is our connection to Krishna, the connection to Krishna isn't really there. Or, for layman's term, the connection to God isn't there without Guru. So, even Jesus in the Christian teaching, he told all of his disciples, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and none of you are going to come to the Father except by me. Why? Not because he was speaking to everyone for eternity, like the modern Christians have said, but because he was their spiritual guru, he was their teacher, and he was showing them exactly what to do. And still, even if you learn the lessons of Jesus, you yourself, but you'll even need a guru to show you what the real message of Jesus is, which is actually the fatal flaw of the modern Christian religion, is that there's no understanding of guru. There's no understanding of a teacher, so all they're doing is with their own senses trying to perceive the teachings of Jesus on their own strength. And because of that, that's why even if you practice Christianity or or many people do, they can't ultimately overcome all the problems of the mind and all these things. Why? Because you need to become perfected, you need a perfected person to show you. You need a live saint, actually. Even though many Christian traditions, they recognize the saints. But actually, it's an accepted fact, it's an understood fact. In order to become saintly, you needed to be guided by a saint. And that's actually what today's message is about. All right, any other question? No. Good. Was that okay? Was it thought-provoking? Yes? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. We'll do something else nice. We'll sing. Do you want to sing, actually? And I can do the RT? I don't mind. Yeah, why don't you sing? Because I sang before. So Madhav Das will sing, and you sing along with him. You can do whatever bhajans, just go RT, or you could do the other one too, whatever your program is. I don't know. Yeah, whatever you want. And then, and then we'll do this. I should mention the most potent and effective process in your life to remember that you're a servant of God, and all the gurus are giving this, are chant the names of God. And this mantra is a nice little catchy prayer consisting of the names of God. And actually within these names there's so much deep philosophy we can't even imagine, and I can't explain it all right now. But for right now, these names of God are very potent and powerful, and if you just chant them in your life, you will have amazing success, even materially. Even if still the kutinati is there and you want material things, everything will come. But even better is the pure love of God will actually arise, and you'll overcome this negative situation of being afflicted by all kinds of temporary material desires, and you'll have a real wonderful situation in which you'll just naturally enjoy. In like the servant of the CEO has so much more facility for enjoyment than, unfortunately, the lower level worker. But we're not trying to be CEOs and enjoy like kings in this world. We're trying to enjoy like the spiritualists in the spiritual world, and that'll be very nice. So thank you guys. I will perform a little ritual, and we have deities here on the altar, and consisting of divine personalities. Actually, Balaram, or one of his expansions is Baladev, is on the left side of the altar. And actually, on the left side of the center altar is one of his expansions in the most recent Incarnation of the Lord, and that's Nityananda Prabhu. There's so much could have been said there, but time always runs out. So Hare Krishna, thank you guys. Thank you, Mukunda, for joining.